sahla everyone, and welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Zahra Birro, and today I am making a very delicious Lebanese breakfast that takes me back to my childhood. It is of course the lovely manoushe breakfast, but we are doing it the healthy way. Freshly milled flour, raw mozzarella cheese, fresh za'atar from the Jnoub, the south of Lebanon. Let's go and start into this delicious homemade recipe. Before we start, let me show you what we're working with. So we have hard white berries, and known as hard white wheat. I'm also going to be using hard red berries, also known as hard red wheat. We have some salt, we have some coconut sugar, and we have some yeast, and of course delicious za'atar with some and sesame seeds and some salt, already mixed by my lovely mother. And we have the organic Valley mozzarella cheese that we are going to be using today, and some extra virgin olive oil. And these are the ingredients that you're going to be needing to start. And of course, a few cups of water, and we'll talk about that once we get to that point. This recipe does call for freshly milled flour, but you could still use your own flour at home if that's what you prefer. It's literally the same exact recipe. You can also purchase freshly milled flour from Azure Standard. That's where I buy all of my wheat berries from. I buy a lot of my things from their farm, and I'm gonna leave all of the links down in the description box below. You will need a flour mill to mill your wheat berries, and that's exactly what I'm going to show you guys how I use it today. This one specifically is from Nutri-Mill. It's been sold out for many months, but I finally was able to grab my hands on it. This is my mixer. It's my dough mixer. You can use your KitchenAid, you can use your hand mixer, you can even do this by hand. I'm just fancy, and this is kind of like what I'm going to be using today in today's recipe. And yeah, let's just get right into it. So why do I mill my own flour? It's because the bran, the germ, and all of the nutrients stay intact. Everything that commercial flour actually strips away. This is exactly how our ancestors ate, how our grandmothers ate. And your body knows exactly what it needs to do and how to break down this flour. And that is exactly why we eat freshly milled flour in our home. So we are using 3 cups of freshly milled flour. We did 2 cups white, 1 cup red, and we're gonna do around 1.5 cups of warm water, and we're gonna do a tablespoon of yeast. I'm gonna dump this in here because it is not active yeast, so I'm gonna mix it to activate it, and I'm gonna wait a little bit just until it forms a foam. And once that's ready, I'm gonna go ahead and add it to my mixer and start adding all of these lovely ingredients together and start making our freshly manoushe. So we're gonna go ahead and add our freshly milled flour, and we are using this attachment. This is the dough attachment, and we're gonna just add all of our freshly milled flour just like that, and be very careful because every single grain you do not want to lose. Bismillah. MashaAllah. Beautiful. And I'm usually very iffy when it comes to how much water I add. I'm not someone who measures. For the 3 cups of freshly milled flour that we just did, I have 1.5 cups of warm water. So I'm gonna dump 1 1/4, and then I can slowly add as needed. Freshly milled flour does require a little bit more absorption, so it does need a little bit more water, but I prefer to add that in slowly versus adding all that water up front. So we're gonna go ahead and add. We're gonna add our salt, which by the way is just like 1 teaspoon, and then I did 1 tablespoon of coconut sugar because you're not supposed to have 3 whites in your kitchen: white salt, white sugar, and white flour. They're terrible for you. So once you replace those, you're gonna have a much healthier lifestyle. Gonna add some olive oil. Olive oil is what's gonna make your dough recipe stick together. It's what's going to make your dough get crispy. Olive oil is the secret ingredient. So we're gonna go ahead and close this. So I'm just gonna turn it to setting 1 first, and then we'll increase it. So as I mentioned, the dough is a little bit thick, and you need it to be very tender. You need it to be very, like, not crazy loose, but it's too thick. So we're gonna slowly and gradually add water as we turn the machine back on. while your dough is kneading in the machine, you're gonna go ahead and shred your raw mozzarella cheese. The reason why we eat raw mozzarella cheese is because everything is processed. I really love Organic Valley. It's because the family still owns their brand and they have it sold to big food companies and corporations. I also buy the majority of my bulk of raw mozzarella cheese from Azure Standard. I'll leave the link down below. My order doesn't come here until 3 weeks. It's a very interesting way of how it works. And so usually we go to a location nearby our home and we pick up our order. And so I ordered around 6 blocks of cheese and I cut them into cubes, kind of like this, these like shapes, and I'll just freeze them in large Ziploc bags. And anytime I need to grab mozzarella cheese, I grab it from the freezer, I let it thaw out, and then I shred it, and we're eating unprocessed raw cheese. Raw cheese isn't for everybody. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but if you enter this part of the world and you eat raw cheese and you mill your own flour, most likely you are eating raw cheese and having raw cream, raw dairy, and things of that nature. And so of course, I'm not recommending you to eat this, but this is how we eat it in our family. Very healthy, very hearty, just like how our grandmothers and ancestors ate it. I took a little bit of a matcha break as the dough was being kneaded. So I want to show you guys what I do with this because it's really important to me that this is how I work. You have to clean your surface, disinfect your surface. The best thing to do is to work on a very clean surface. I got this olive oil spray and I'm just going to go ahead and spray my surface. And I'm also going to spray my hands just like that. Now we're going to grab our perfectly kneaded dough. We're gonna dump it right onto the surface, just like that. Don't worry about the dishes, you could do them later. And you are just going to kind of roll it into a long log, I guess. So I just roll it into this form. And what we're gonna do is we're going to cut even sections and start placing our dough. And the rest after this is gonna be super easy to do. I make it into this shape here, and then we're just gonna cut like little sections just like that. I'm gonna show you how I'm going to turn those into little perfectly sized ball-shaped doughs that are all gonna be even. And I just have this like divider that I use to divide all of this together. You could use a knife. You don't even need to be that fancy. I think this one's too small. So what we're gonna do is we're going to oil our surface again. You're gonna grab your dough and you're just gonna go and you're gonna kind of like force it to stay in this section and you get a perfect, circle. So you're just gonna place that on the side. You're gonna just kind of do that for every single one. All right, and you could see the consistency of the dough. You see how it's not hard? That's exactly the same consistency that I want you to work with when you're making your dough. And the first few times as you make this, it might be tricky, but you will eventually get the hang of it because we all have to start somewhere and we all learn from somewhere. So I hopefully, inshallah, you get this done correctly from the first time. So this is the cheese that we grated. I like to keep it on parchment paper. It's a lot cleaner to use. And over here we have what's called yansun, known as fennel seed or anise seed. And this is something that we grew up with, and this is absolutely delicious with cheese. You can also add black seed. I just don't have any left. Of course, it's equally as healthy. And so I just love to add this. It just gives your cheese some flavor and it gives it that beautiful crunch right under your teeth. It's fantastic. And over here we have our za'atar. And I just did around a half a cup of za'atar. This is my mom's recipe. She made this herself. And we're going to add some olive oil. And what you want to do is you want to turn this into a paste. You don't want it to be too oily and you don't want it to be too thick. You want to have like that perfect consistency so it looks like it needs a little bit more oil. So this is kind of like my setup and how I work with. I have the za'atar here, I have the cheese, and then I use this pan over here. It came with the house that we're renting and I love this so much. The secret is to heating it up on medium-low heat and then just spraying a little bit of the olive oil onto it because you do not want the dough to stick. And then just literally waiting like 60 seconds or so, flipping it, adding your za'atar, adding your cheese. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do that together. But I just wanted to show you guys, I like to work with wide pans and cooking these on medium low heat. You can also make manoushe in the oven, but I prefer to eat it this way. It actually tastes just like sage and it acts like sage when I cook it on the stovetop. And if you know sage, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'll leave a picture for you guys here so you can see what we're talking about. It's a little bit more of a thinner style bread. It's a little bit more crispy. It has a little bit more spaz under your tongue. And given that this milled flour has a nutty flavor, all of the texture, all of the flavors, all of the scents combined, heavenly Lebanese breakfast. You're gonna love this. So I'm gonna turn the setting to be on medium low, just kind of like figure out how your oven works. And while this is going to be heated up, we are going to start kneading our dough. So let's go ahead and show you guys how I shape it. This recipe makes around 15 medium-sized manoushe, and we're gonna go ahead and we are going to oil our hands. Again, I love this. I got it from TJ Maxx, Marshalls, you can grab it anywhere. And you're just gonna go ahead and you are going to turn this into a circle using your hands. You can make it as thin as you'd like. You can make it as thick as you'd like. I love this specific thickness. If you want it thinner, you could, but you just have to be like a super pro at it just so it doesn't rip. You don't want your dough to rip, and this is perfect. And all I do is I carry this, and we are going to go over to the stovetop. To very lightly oil the pan and place this right in the center. Hear that sizzle? That sizzle is exactly what we're looking for. I don't care for this to be too perfect. All I care about is texture and flavor, and we're gonna get both of this using this recipe. And so you see all of these like bubbles. This is exactly what we want, and it's going to be absolutely perfect. So we're just gonna wait for this to cook at around 45 to 60 seconds, and then we're gonna flip it, add our cheese or our za'atar, or we can mix it, and it's gonna make the perfect breakfast. And you're gonna start smelling the bread, and this is exactly what we're looking for. You see that texture? This is exactly what you want. And what's gonna give this is the olive oil. And so it's really critical that you follow the instructions that I did so it gives you this delicious sage-like crispy texture. So now we're gonna add our za'atar. I don't add it all around. I actually just do half just because it is thicker. It's on the thicker side. And then what I do is I fold it over. And then you just cook it for around 20 seconds on each side. And that gives you your perfect za'atar manoushe / sage using freshly milled flour. So once that's done, you're gonna bring it over here and you're just gonna set it. You're gonna let it cool, and by the time you would have your other dough ready. We also want to make tea, so I'm going to start it in this beautiful kettle that I purchased from Turkey from a Lebanese restaurant, and it's just so beautiful, and we're going to be making our tea. A trick I like to use is to use this part of your hand, and it just gives you like this perfect circle shape. Now we pick it up. Perfect. A lot of times, if you make more than what you need, you can just place your perfectly sized dough balls in here and just cover it with some aluminum foil or some saran wrap, and just don't forget to spray it so it doesn't stick, and it's good to use. It's actually a lot better to use it the next day. We went ahead and used it same day. Still perfect, still good to go. Now let's go check on our dough. We're gonna go ahead and add cheese and yansun, and like I mentioned, we're just gonna do that to half of it. You want to add too much cheese. You don't want to be cheap on cheese. You just got to add the perfect amount. And I like to keep it away from the sides just so it doesn't melt. And then we're just going to bring the stove top to a medium. And it's not going to melt fully like this. We're going to have to close it, and that closure is what's going to melt the heat. I use RAHMAT tea. I really love their tea. I love their Earl Grey flavor, so we're gonna be drinking that today. Once you start, you just get the hang of things. You have to learn how to balance your time. So my eyes and my ears and my everything is there, although I'm here because you do not want to burn your bread. All of this hard work cannot go to waste. While the za'atar and cheese are baking on the oven, I do want to take a moment to talk about something very dear to my heart. Lebanon is under a very tough time right now. We have so many families and friends that I personally know, and of course, all of the people of South Lebanon that have been affected by war. A lot of these people do not have their homes, they do not have their life, they do not have anything. They've been stripped away of so many things. I've started a nonprofit organization that is in the works of getting registered called RAHMAT Roots. I have raised over $16,000 on 2 separate occasions to help all of these families affected by the war. Displaced people, children, families, widows, you name it, all of these people are in dire need of our support. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Shukran if you're able to donate. You can see all of the available ways that you can donate over here, and if you cannot, sharing this video is more than enough. Thank you so much for your support and for honoring the lovely Lebanese people. And this is how we do Lebanese breakfast the Zahra way. Now look at this freshly made manoushe. We have the za'atar, we have the perfectly melted cheese. Lebanese breakfast is not complete without eggs, and of course our delicious veggie plate that we just chopped up, and our tea. Now look at this, the Lebanese breakfast that you've all been waiting for. The za'atar smells perfect. The crust, perfectly golden. The cheese, oh my goodness, perfectly melted. It's just that it has the perfect nuttiness that you do not get from regular flour. I mean, just look at this, Bismillah. I swear to God, this freshly milled flour makes such a difference in flavor. You will notice it incredibly and you're gonna love it. Once you do freshly milled flour, you cannot go back to regular flour. The yansun adds the perfect crunch right under your teeth, and that flavor and this crispy, freshly milled flour that we have here, just absolutely spectacular. You guys have to try this. Make this on the weekend, put some fairuz on it in the background, and enjoy making your family or yourself a delicious Lebanese breakfast. You will literally feel like you're in Beirut, and it will definitely take you back home. The full recipe is written down in the description box below. Save it, share with your family and your friends. The donation link to help the displaced people of Lebanon is also in the description box below. Thank you so much. Tfaddalo, ahlan wa sahlan, from my Lebanese kitchen to yours. Don't forget to hit subscribe, like, comment, save, and share with your family and friends. Assalamu alaikum. See you in the next one.